Hello and welcome to another edition of the Ultimate Fighting Chat. UFC Fight Night. Jairzinho Rozenstruik strikes versus Augusto Sakai. Sunday, 6th of June. That's all there is to it. So we'll start with the prelims. Should we get straight into this or what?
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, I didn't see the first couple of fights, so is that a good start to the pods or not?
All right, nor did I. Okay, hang on. I want to say something before we do the fights. You just said about why do they always put, when it's Bizzers, why is it always Bizzers and Cruz? I think it's pretty obvious that they don't get on, they don't like each other, but yet that seems to be the matchup every time.
You think? I don't think so. No, yeah, I've heard him with Felder a fair bit. You know, when Felder announced his retirement, Bizzers was sitting next to him, wasn't he? He even gave him a little wink. Do you remember? He gave him a little.
Did yeah, but it's all, yeah, but when it's Cruz, it's always Bizzers. Then there you go.
I do, yeah, I do see. It's not. I don't think it's that they don't get on. It's just that we mentioned before about the different senses of humour across
That's right.
the pond, which isn't always the case. But, you know, and it seems to me like Cruz don't really have the same sense of humour as Bizzers. Let's say I thought Bisping was brilliant on this commentary. There's a couple of times he actually did make me laugh.
I thought he was good as well.
Yeah, I can't remember why. Forget all the, you know, I called the left hook right hand garbage.
No, that's rubbish.
There was a couple of times where he actually just made me laugh, and I was like, hey, quite good today, Bisping. But yeah, Cruz is a bit too professional and straight laced, I think. So
yeah, it makes him not very interesting.
Yeah, he doesn't kind of draw. But I have to say, I think Fitzgerald's way better than Anik. I think he's good, Fitzgerald.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's good for what his job is, if you know what I mean. He has a bit of a laugh with them and it seems genuine. You know, they smash him a bit. So it's obviously that he's got quite a good sense of humor because he can get smashed. You know, whereas when Anik gets smashed, he just does a rubbish little fake laugh as if I don't know what's just happened, but I think it might have just been done. So yeah, I think Fitzgerald's good and all for that job. Is he better than the other bloke though, the original? Goldberg. Yeah.
I never liked Goldberg much, to be honest.
Oh, right. Okay. The first fight was Claudio Puelles versus Jordan Liavit. And that is how it's spelled, Liavit. It looks like I'm going to leave these first two fights to you because I didn't see them.
No, neither did I. So let's just read out the next one. Let's get on with it.
No, because you've got to say, like, all right, okay, then who won it?
Claudio. Unanimous decision. Next.
All right, so that was probably crap. And then the next one was Sean Woodson versus Yusuf Zalal. Seen the Zalal fight before quite a few times.
I think he's all right, isn't he? But he lost, didn't he?
Yeah, he's been done.
All right, so he's cracking. We were wrong. Next.
Well, let's get on to, okay, well, look, this is the way it rolls, and I understand why. So the first televised fight, and it's absolutely understandable, is Manon Beast Footrot versus Tabitha Ricci.
Yeah, well, you always want to open with a banger.
Yeah, but they didn't. Neither of them are bangers.
I mean,
yeah.
What do you want to say about
it? Okay, there was loads of annoying shouts from both of them. Loads. They were doing the old, you know, shout.
Yeah, Monica Seles, ha, that kind of stuff.
That's it. There was a
bit
like
that. Were you exhaling on the, you know, when throwing punch and stuff? We like that. It's all part of the chi. It's all part of the Bruce Lee methods.
It is, but this is on. Do you do it on nothing? I know you do because you do it while making a cup of tea. So yeah.
Yeah, I yeah. You know, when I do pad work, I do the shh noise on the pad work. When, you know, not when I'm punching the pads, when I'm holding the pads. So
not wrong with it.
I always do.
That's timing. It's just getting timing. Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, but it was crap from them. So you say whatever you want. I actually think that Footrot was all right in this fight. She actually weren't bad. It really helped that Ricci was non-real. That always helps, doesn't it? Cruz said at the end that Ricci was awesome. And she just got done by Footrot with a TKO in round 2. But that's what he said. He said it. I'm telling you now, the bit where, you know, they're going to Buffer. It weren't Buffer, it was Martinez. Going to, you know, get their thing read out. She'd just been done. And he said Ricci was awesome.
Maybe he was talking about her crack.
He could have been. He could have been.
That went bad.
Well, you know, something to enjoy, isn't it? I don't
Yeah.
think they like to be looked at like that, though. You know, she's fighting in a professional sport, and that's how the way you should be watching that. Was her fighting skills not distracting enough for you?
She just didn't really throw anything. It's just
tiny little thing, isn't it?
It's sometimes frustrating when you watch somebody who apparently is a grappler or a jiu-jitsu person, and yet it seems like they don't have the first clue in how to get a fight to the floor. You know, surely that's got to be your, forget the jits for a while because you're real at it. You never forget to ride a bike and all that crap. So just spend ages on getting it into your realm, into where you have the best chance of winning, instead of spending loads of time practicing how to basically walk around and be a human punch bag with a nice crack. So
she was too weak, though, wasn't she? I think too little and small and.
It's a bit little, yeah. I mean, it looked like she wanted to have a punch up with a cameraman before the fight started as well. Just
staring into the camera for ages. Yeah, I noticed. Yeah,
quite liked that. But Fiorot was all right, wasn't she? She was
all right. Yeah, right. Just watch the skills from the foot rock. She got done by it as well. Listen to the shouts as well. Nice left hand. Right. So don't be telling me that foot rock's good.
I know that. I mean, she's good in the context of,
The next fight is Alan Nugget Patrick versus Mason the Dragon Jones. It's a bit of a run-of-the-mill. Nugget is definitely a brilliant nickname. Don't know why he's called it, but that's the best nickname. But the Dragon's run-of-the-mill, but it's probably because he's Welsh in it. Is that Welsh things, dragons? They do dragons,
right? Yes, on the flag, isn't it?
Well, that's the next fight, and I don't know if you noticed, but Patrick's got a little splat in a non-splat section.
Yeah, he's sort of he's receding rather than going from the hairline. He's going from the middle out. I'm not sure I've seen that technique before, but yeah, he's decided to go bald in the opposite direction to everyone else, which doesn't surprise me because he seems to like to fight in the opposite direction to everyone else as well. Be out of breath, go out a million miles an hour and be out of breath from minute one. So he's supposed to, be out of breath at the end of the fight and finish fast, right? But he doesn't. He starts fast and is out of breath at the start. So he's no good, that guy. Every time I see him fight, unless you get caught by something wild and reckless, which I imagine is very powerful as well, provided you get through the first minute or two, then it's just a case of whether you can stop him or not. That's simple.
Well, in this fight, like you say, it was just crazy nutcase swinging around all over the place by him. He got eye poked and within seconds, he said to the doctor and the referee that he couldn't see. And it was just stopped immediately. And what happened to the I can't see yet, give me a minute? Now, where was the up to 5 minutes recovery time? He just literally went, no, I can't see. And they went, well, that's the end of it then. With literally under a minute, right? It was nothing. So
yeah, I mean, I'm happy obviously for them to stop the fight if he can't see. Absolutely, they got to stop the fight. But I mean,
but he might be able to see in 4 minutes time.
Because he just had a finger rammed into his eye. Give him a minute or so when he actually open his eyelid properly and stop, sort of having watery eyes and stuff like that. He might be fine. But let's be honest, he didn't want to carry on. That's the end of it. I'm not saying he could see. I'm not saying anything other than the fact that given the choice. Okay, if that eye poke happened and he was 2 rounds up and absolutely bludgeoning that guy, I don't think he'd have stopped.
Look, we don't know for sure.
Of course we don't.
But I have to say, I agree with that. Makes sense to me as well. It just seems like, what's the point? Just forget it anyway. Did you think that the
recurring thing? Don't you think that losing fighters who seem to be on the receiving end of either an illegal blow or something like that, just all of a sudden seem to that blow just seems to be the one the straw that broke the camel's back. We've seen it with
I don't know.
We've seen it with every time. We've seen it with
not every time. Not with Aljo.
Bilal Muhammad. That the clip the still of that where he's getting his eyelid pulled out.
Yeah, and Aljo, that was legit, wasn't it?
Oh, Aljo, yeah. I mean, he was seeing stars.
That was just that was the final concussive blow.
Yeah. It was a shame
Look,
because he sure he was going to win that fight. But it just seems to me that when losing fighters, it seems to be a bit of a theme at the moment. When losing fighters seem to get a strike that could be deemed illegal, that all of a sudden forget the previous 80 Hail Mary strikes they've just absorbed that they managed to fight through. That illegal one always seems to be the one that just can't carry on no more. That just coincidence. That's the one that's finished me off, Gov. We'll have to fight another day.
I agree that if he was winning, he probably would have gone, I'm all right, give me a minute, but
yeah, it's just getting a bit, and I'm sure that one or two of these have been genuine. There was the female fighter as well, wasn't there, recently? Who was that? There was a lady as well. There was a couple of events off the Aljamain Sterling one. She got an illegal strike. She couldn't carry on. I mean, look, you got that one. The lady.
I was probably glad of that.
You got Darren Stewart. You got Aljamain Sterling. You got Bilal Muhammad. Now you got this one. Bilal Muhammad. There is no gripes about that one. That one made me sick just looking at it. I'm not even saying that none of them ain't real. I'm just saying, how often did that happen before in the UFC? Before Aljamain Sterling? How many times? Weidman got disqualified or whatever because he did take a legal knee, didn't he? And said he couldn't carry on from a legal knee. So he lost to Musasi. How many times did that happen before Aljamain Sterling? I can't remember a time. Now, all of a sudden, there's been 5 instances in about the last 3 months.
Yeah, what you're saying is they see a path to just getting out of it and seems to work. Yeah, well, look, there could be some truth in it. What did you think of this Mason Jones bloke of what you saw of him anyway?
I thought he was all right, actually. First couple of minutes, first couple of minutes, I was like, His dancing to the cage was disgusting. Made me want to throw up.
Oh, we had the walkout.
Shaking his hips and all that. I mean,
bad, wasn't it?
Yeah, not my style of dancing. But
he weren't the only one that had rainbow name. I saw a couple of others later.
Yeah, it's Pride Month, isn't it? De La Rosa.
Oh, is it? Oh,
yeah, it's Pride Month. Yeah, I think.
Can't you have Pride next month?
Well, you can.
Oh, can you? Okay, all right.
You just show it off more this month, isn't it?
Just promote it.
All right. And I thought he looked all right, Mason Jones. I thought he'd be. I just thought his boxing looked good enough. It's not really a great barometer, though, is it? Because I think that Nugget guy is not great.
No,
but he can be scrappy and can make people look crap. So I think
Jones he almost done him with like a couple of them stupid spinning back fist things. He almost done him with one of them. So you can definitely get done by him for sure. Bone face.
Yeah, skeletal.
That was a no contest.
That's what his name is. He's skeletal.
Yeah, that was a no contest due to an eye poke that he couldn't continue from after about 2 seconds. The next fight was Makwan, Mr. Finland, Amir Khani versus Camuela, the Jawaian Kirk. Do we know what a Jawaian is? Is it a Hawaiian?
I thought he might be Jewish and Hawaiian. That's all I could think
of. I like it. That's it. Brilliant. Love it.
Whether that's correct or not, I have absolutely no idea.
I love it. Boring fight that. Kirk won by the Jawaian won by unanimous decision, but it's just that's it. Boring. That's all I've got to say about it.
Okay, well, let me just quickly run through a couple of things, though. Right, one,
of course,
when it came
that's
to
why we're here.
When it came to the decision, I wasn't sure that Kirk won that. I found it surprising that it was a unanimous decision for him, just because he kind of won in my eyes because he had, even though he was on his back, he was throwing strikes, trying submissions, and Amir Khani done zero. When I say zero, I mean literally zero when he was on his back, but when he was on top. But he was still on top, and there wasn't that much difference in the striking. Even though Kirk looks more composed and better and more competent on the feet, he wasn't really landing at will. He was kind of being a bit hesitant. And so when it came to the decision, I was like, I thought that Amir Khani was going to get it just because of the amount of time he had on top. I thought he was going to get to it around 29, 28 or something. And when Kirk got it from, I think, all 3 judges, I was a bit surprised. I thought he was the better fighter. I was just a bit surprised that all 3 judges scored it for him.
Well, maybe they were bored like me and just went, sod this, and they blamed him for being, the boring part. Could be.
Maybe, but I thought that Kirk looked quite good.
Yeah, I thought he was all right and all. I'll do an Ings on it. He had potential by the looks of it. It wasn't a good fight, but I do think he looked like he could be pretty good. Amir Khani's good qual, though, isn't he?
Yeah, he's all right, I suppose. I mean, I don't know. Don't really.
No, because it had, yes, you do. It had a shot of him beforehand, with a beard, and he looked quite. He come out with a raw face, and it weren't as good. It's like my face; it ain't good without a beard. Remember, you've agreed that.
Yeah,
It's the
it's not
same.
good with a beard either.
Yeah, of course not, but it's worse, right? And he still looked qual, but yeah, he looked pretty good, I think.
He's lost 3 of his last 4, though, Amir Khani.
Yeah, and he come out to
Is he still at SBG? Maybe that weren't a good move after all.
I'm not sure, but I don't remember seeing any of the obvious faces in his corner. But look, he came out to a flying start in the UFC, didn't he? Quite highly. It's because he done that Ingers bloke with flying knee straight away. The little grit.
That's right, yeah. Little Axe or whatever his name was. Andy Ogle.
Little Axe.
Little Axe.
Oh, is that his nickname? Was it Little Axe?
Name Little Axe or something like that? Yeah, the Little Axe, yeah, Andy Ogle, yeah.
Andy Ogle, yeah, that's it. Well, look, anyway, that was a boring fight. So I'm going on to the next one, and this is one of my favourite fights.
Hang on,
unless you're not finished, I'm happy to chat about it all day. You know that. Let's go.
Well, no, I ain't got much more to say, but I'm just...
No, let's have
other than he's lost 3 of his last 4, Amir Khani. I mean, admittedly against some decent competition. Burgos, we really like him.
Yeah.
Barboza, obviously amazing. Kirk, we think he's good, but obviously the fact that was his debut isn't a good one to have lost. So he's lost 3 of his last 4 now. Would you be getting a little bit worried if you were him, or do you think it's because he's been fighting top gizzards? He's probably not got much to worry about for at least another loss or 2.
That obviously helps. I think also I don't know this for sure, but I get the feeling that he's pretty popular. And he's from the right part of the world. He's got a bit of a mixture, I don't know exactly where he's from, but he's called Mr. Finland, but I don't think that's his.
Well, no, but just being European, it helps, doesn't it? It gets you.
I just got a feeling. Yeah, I just got a feeling they like him and everything. So I don't think he's going to get done yet. I don't think he's quite on the, we don't cut people like Dan Hardy. I think, do you remember that statement before?
Yeah. Funny how that turned out. Don't cut people like Dan Hardy. Do sack him from his commentary job and release him from his contract. Then.
Yeah, not a man of your word there. But then that's because he was nasty to someone, apparently. Who knows? But yeah, look, I suppose as far as I'm concerned, I'm sure he'll still be in it and have another fight. But if he loses another one, that'd be what? 4? Would that be 4 in a row? Would it?
No, that'd be 4 out of his last 5. He'd have lost.
How many in a row though? 3 in a row, is it?
Or 3 in a row. I think it's 3 in a row. Yeah, I ain't gonna be worried then. But probably give him someone a little bit down the ladder.
Oh yeah, go on then. Play it. Play the matchmaker. Give me someone down the ladder. I just did, Kirk.
I can't think of someone off the top of my head.
What weight class are they, please?
Amir Khani, he is. I can't remember, but is it featherweight?
Isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's featherweight. Featherweight, bantamweight.
I thought this is your bit. Yeah, featherweight. So, all right, let's not play matchmaker then because he's already at the bottom of the rung. So don't worry about it. Anyone will do.
Here you go. You like this? He's worked as a model before and was the first runner-up in the 2012 Mr. Finland pageant, which is what his nickname refers to.
It's another look. I've got eyes. You've got eyes. You just try to deny. There's no denying, right? There's no denying. Next fight, one of my favorites, Francisco Masaranduba Trinaldo. Definitely one of my favorite fighters in it. Bloody brilliant. Versus Muslim King of Kung Fu, Salikov. King of Kung Fu, brilliant nickname. It was an okay fight, in my opinion, and Salikov won by unanimous decision. But, there was nothing. I haven't got anything to really pull out, and I ain't got any meat to give you on it. It's just, it was all right, and that's it.
I've got some stuff to say on this.
I love it. This is why I'm talking to you and not somebody else. Go for it.
No, just like I really like Masaranduba.
Yeah, so do I. He's brilliant. Isn't he about 100 years old?
That was one of the good Bisping comments, wasn't it? It weren't in this fight. It was about a fighter later on, Rodriguez, because I remember I was watching that Rodriguez going, gee whiz, he's, what is this guy, about 38 or something? And then they said, somebody said, he was 29 years old. I think Bisping said 29 going on 50. or something like that, or 29 with a face of a 50-year-old.
We're not on that fight yet.
I never thought he'd say it, because it's a bit rude, but I was just like, brilliant. Because I was thinking the same. That was the other thing he'd done when he walked off. Somebody wanted to say one more thing in their interview, and Bisping just walked off and done a big laugh.
Brilliant.
Yeah, that was good at all. I can't remember who it was though. But yeah, Mataranduba, I mean, he doesn't look a day under 48. I mean, he looks like a guy who's, toiled for those 48 years as well. It's like he's worked hard. He's had nothing given to him. But he is only 42, so he's not far off that, I suppose. But the reason I liked it is because even though he lost 30-27, it was that Salikov knew he'd been in a real scrap. You might look at that and go 30-27s across the board and go, all right, well, straightforward victory for Salikov. It was anything but. Trinaldo came forward the whole time, gave him grief.
Yeah, he had to most grief he gave. Yeah, round 3 was the most grief he gave him, wasn't it? It was just like he blazed in round 3.
Coming on strong, and he got floored quite heavy in round 2, and I thought he was going to get knocked out with the ground and pound, but he survived that. He just showed himself to be, he's a real tough guy, that Mataranduba, and I think he's one of those blokes that I wouldn't want to fight because not much to gain, as in name value and ranking value, and I think he gives everybody a tough scrap. I don't think I've ever seen anybody go in there and just beat Trinaldo easy.
No, yeah, he's definitely a problem. He goes in there for a smash up, and like you say, if you do him, it'd be, well, he's just an old, middle ranking fighter. So what? But it ain't so what. If I done him, I'd be over the moon because it's a tough win. That, I mean, he's qual. I think he's good.
Yeah, really good. I like him. He's tough. He's strong. He was on a 3-fight win streak as well going into that fight. So he's good. He's good. I like Trinaldo. I don't think he'll ever be a top 10 bloke, but he's brilliant.
Do we think that? What about the Salikov bloke? How did we feel about his performance?
Now he's good kicks.
Yeah.
Threw some nice, snappy, rapid kicks. He's strong looking, stocky, isn't he? He's not somebody who's all carved and shredded, but he looks like a lump, like a heavy lump. Nurmagomedov wasn't exactly the most shredded guy in the world either, was he? But, he looked solid.
Yeah.
I think he looked solid. Looks like he's had his nose broken a few times, so he comes to take a dig.
Was his job?
Yeah, he's decent. He's
the king of Kung Fu. How about that?
Good name as well, yeah.
So next fight was a heavyweight fight. Tanner, the bulldozer Boza, versus Ilya, the sledgehammer Latifi. They made a real mistake with the bulldozer Boza. His name should have just been Tanner Bullboza.
That's quite good, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they've
or the bulldozer.
Yeah, right, exactly. Tanner.
Because then it could be he's the bull as in the animal, or a bulldozer.
Right. Bullboza. He's got the end of the dozer bit in his name. That's why they called him Bulldozer Boza. But it's like, guys, just listen to yourselves. Tanner, the Bull Boza, or Tanner Bullboza. Right? Anyway, look. After this, I'm sure he'll change it because you can change your name. Let's go through some name changes. So you got the obvious ones are Sanchez.
Tanner the Bora Boza.
No, I quite like him. Are you saying he's
I think he's all right as well, but I hate this fight.
Yeah, so did I.
I put that. I don't put the blame on Latifi, right? Because it's.
Whoa! Hang on. I want to chat about fighters that have changed their names. See if there's any we can think of off the top of our head without any prep. So Diego Sanchez is the obvious one, and Tito Ortiz.
Yep.
I can't remember. Huntington Beach Bad Boy, and then he changed it to the People's Champ or something, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Berkman changed his to the People's Warrior. Corey Anderson.
Oh, saying about Beast in 24.
Beast in 25-8 to something else, or it was something else, and he changed it to Beast in 25-8.
So he changed it. Any more you can think of where they've changed it? Sanchez was the Dream and the Nightmare, and then the Dream, and he changed it back to the Nightmare, didn't he? I think he re-agreed the Nightmare. I think he's done it. I think he's the only 3-timer.
I hate the way he's treated that Fabio. Oh crap! they've split up, haven't they? Gone their separate ways. Fabio and
That's a
Sanchez.
shame. I like him.
Fabio, yeah, I like him for the comedy value, but I do think he has a horrible cult leader. So he's just.
We can only go off of what we see. We don't know him. It's but you can't go. Yeah, well, you can't judge him then. Well, yeah, he's in the public eye. We can judge him based on what we've seen, and I couldn't agree more. It seems that way, that he's influential, but if it's to the wrong person, then he seems to, I don't know, take advantage. Might be too strong. It didn't look good, did it? The relationship didn't seem good. Didn't seem healthy.
No.
So
No, and he also knows nothing about fighting by the looks of it. But anyway, we're not going to discuss Fabio.
It's annoying though, because now I'd like to see Sanchez have another fight. Now he doesn't have him, just to see if anything has changed. If he changed, would you like that, or are you just done with Sanchez?
Done with Sanchez about 5 years ago.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, then let me know what you think.
Fabio is the only thing that made him relatively interesting.
Yeah, it was good.
Now they got rid of him. Yeah. So
yeah, I liked it. Yeah. So, what do you think of this fight? Then you say you don't like this fight with Latifi.
It was horrible, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And I, usually you blame the person who's on top. So in this scenario, we could blame Latifi, right? Because he basically got on top and done nothing. In fact, when he was standing on his feet, he done nothing as well, apart from sweat loads and look out of breath. But I would also say that it's up to Boza, right, who I much preferred, and I do think it's all right as well. But
I think he's quite good.
It's up to him to stop the takedowns or get up off his back. So you can't just go, why would Latifi let him up off his back? So even though I blame Latifi because I blame his style and the way he fought that fight and all that, you have to blame Boza because he didn't deal with it or counteract it. So they're both to blame. It's one of those fights that could have gone either way. It's a little bit like that Clark versus Amir Khani fight earlier. So Amir Khani spent way more time on top than Clark, but he didn't get the decision. Latifi spent lots of time on top of Boza, but done nothing, but did get the decision. So it was a little bit like, I don't know. Well, it was a boring fight, and
he did, but as you said earlier, in the Amir Khani one, it was unanimous, and in this one, it's like exactly what you did say. Could have gone either way, and it was a split decision.
Yeah.
To Latifi. So, but it don't matter. The facts are the facts. It just weren't very good. Latifi, that's a few heavyweight fights he's had now, isn't it? He used to be light heavy.
That was his debut, wasn't it?
Was that his debut at heavies? I don't know.
I thought so. I'm not 100% sure.
Let's have a quick look and see what we think, because I never thought he was fantastic, but he was definitely better at light heavy.
Well, I mean, yeah, if that is an example of what we've got to look forward to, then yeah, I'd rather he stay at light heavy. He lost to Derek Lewis.
Okay. Now, there's a bit in this fight that we'll discuss, because we've said this fight we didn't really like. If you remember, there was saying there was was that an eye poke or was it a punch or a knuckle in the eye moment that got replayed a number of times, and it did just look like part of the fist hit him in an awkward spot.
I think the way he threw the right hand, I think his fist was closed like that, and I think his thumb would have just slashed past Latifi's eye, which is why it caused a bit of say that blood and that bruising.
Yeah,
nothing. It wasn't an eye poke or anything like that. I don't believe. I think it was just the way that he threw the punch straight. He didn't turn over his wrist, and that's why the thumb sort of pushed past.
Yeah, it's sticking out of the glove, isn't it? Yeah,
definitely. As far as I'm concerned, it weren't an eye poke. His fist was closed, his hands were closed, his fingers were closed. So
just bad luck, right?
Just bad luck, and that was the only real significant, interesting thing that happened in the fight, I think. So
agreed. It was. Now, they did say that there was a fight cancelled. Now, was that a fight cancelled that should have been on the prelims or on the main card? Can you remember?
I think it was open the main card, wasn't it?
Okay, in that case, and I am going to finish it, that to me is the end of them prelims. Now, overall, just to make a bit more of it, because there's nothing wrong with us having a shorter podcast. This might be the shortest one yet, so I'm not planning on extending it really by purpose. But let's just go with out of 10, them prelims.
What would I give it out of 10?
Oh yeah. Have a quick look through. Remind
Yeah,
yourself.
I mean, I'll go through. You know, the Fiorot Richie fight. You know, it was okay. 5.
It's all right. Yeah.
Patrick versus Jones. I actually quite liked that while it was going on. That was actually okay. I thought Jones looked decent, but a bit
It
of
was entertaining. Can't deny it. Yeah.
a bit of an unsatisfactory ending, so I'll give that 6. Kirk versus Amir Khani was boring, but I quite liked Kirk, but I'll give that like a 4, maybe a 3. It wasn't a very good fight, that. Salikov versus Trinaldo, I thought that was a good fight. I thought Trinaldo was brilliant, and I thought Salikov handled him brilliant, considering he was dealing with an absolute brief granddad. So I'd give that fight, a 6 or a 7, but that's decent. And Latifi versus Boza, I'm talking like a 2. So all in all, maybe a 5.
Not much better ranking than I thought, but because I know that a 5 for you ain't too bad.
Yeah, mostly for Trinaldo Salikov, I thought that was decent. And Kirk, for a new guy that came in, I actually thought I liked him. I thought he looked, composed, calm. I thought he looked like he's got some potential. But a bit of a cross between Venata and Masvidal. Thought he was decent. So, what about you? What do you give it out of 10?
No, they ain't bothered. Right, so that's the end of the Sakai's and Rozenstruik's preview. No, it's not a preview. Prelims. That's the end of that one. So I'm going to leave it there because we hopefully have got a nice little snug podcast there that isn't too draining on people. I personally, if I was the people out there, I'd go, no, I much prefer the long ones because there's a lot more content. I had a lot to say, but there weren't much to say about this, is the truth. There weren't.
If I had to give performance of the night to one of the prelims, I'd have given it to Richie's crack.
That says it all to me. I mean, and we're tuned into the Ultimate Fighting Championship. All right, no worries. Don't go anywhere. I'm just saying that's the end of this one, and I'll see you for the main card in a minute.
See you later.
See you later.